Recording in progress.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this CEDO webinar. So my name is Liam. I'm going to be running you through this whole presentation. Today it's on the SolarWall Net, which is quite a complicated system, so this might be a lengthy one. I have my colleague here, Kai, who's going to be doing a live demo and kind of showing you a more in-depth side of everything. So let's just go over what we're going to cover today. So we're going to go over the key features, of course, which will also be followed by the system overview, where I'll show you kind of like what it can do, where it can be used, and then we'll go into the more hardware side of things, so you can see the unit, you can know what ports are on it, and exactly what kind of stuff it's got. And then it'd be followed by the software, which will also be kind of intertwined with the training, because we'll tell you how to use the software, and then we'll show you how to use the software itself in a live demo. So of course, SolarWall Net is an IoT management system. There's quite a few things you can do with this. Of course, we'll go through them all. One of them being operating video walls. So you can operate quite large video walls with this. It has KVM matrix as well. System control, kind of like all three in one. You can kind of use this for anything from just playing simple content to IP streaming to a full-on control center if you would like. It's honestly up to you. It's quite a robust and a very versatile system, which can be set up and kind of configured in any way you want. It does, of course, support RTSP IP streaming. That's 1080p or 4K. They're transcoders, so these can be encoders or decoders. Doesn't matter what box it is. They can be both, and of course, they can control any third-party device. Here you can kind of just see a basic system diagram. So this will just kind of give you a small idea of what happens. So of course, on the left side, you'll have all your inputs. Now these video sources can come in through, of course, HDMI. You have your RTSP. You can have KVMs, of course, which should be plugged into the HDMI. It also supports fiber port as well. All of this can, of course, go into your network, which you'll need a managed switch for this, and we'll get into that later on the switch requirements. But these can all be transmitted out into, of course, you have a single screen. So this could just be a single monitor that you're giving to someone to look at in a separate room, so they can kind of look over everything. They still support LED panels as well, so you can do custom LED resolutions for LED walls. You have the video wall tab as well. So this video wall one will be, of course, you can have simple 2x2 or 3x3 or 4x4 or 2x1. You know, it's kind of all up to you. You can do any kind of awkward video wall as well. And you'll have your KVM operators. So we'll get into this a bit later, but what this means is you can have multiple stations controlled by multiple people, which can, of course, have access to different things and different KVMs. And of course, we'll show that a bit later on. The three main key features, of course, the video wall, the KVM, and the system control. When it comes to the video wall, this is kind of like a very basic example that you can see on the right. It's a very basic 3x3. You have your media at the bottom. So you can put these, of course, on the screen. You can put them anywhere on the screen. You can click and drag, put them around. And picture in picture, like I said, you can kind of customize these however you want, put them wherever you want, and pretty much do whatever you want with the inputs you're putting on screen. You can, of course, have a preview. So as you can see on the right tab, you have a preview of your signals itself. This, of course, will have to be you have to bind them for certain things, but you can, of course, yeah, you'll have your signal, like I said, at the bottom. Picture in picture, I've already mentioned that you could put these wherever you want, as many as so if you had say 8, 6, 8, you know, something like that. You can have them all on the screen overlapping each other, and you can have these in different layouts, different stuff, and you can save these layouts as well. You can save them, you can call them, and you can loop them as well. So if you have this, say, for playing a 5-minute video to then switch over to another video, stuff like that, you can loop around. There's of course like certain modes. So you have the layout one, so you can change the layout on the virtual tab. So you have the media the mode one, so that will just change like the grid modes, stuff like that, and of course your presets and stuff like that. And you have an offline preset. So when it comes to the offline preset, this just allows you to make changes without anything actually happening to the wall itself until you want it to. So you can make all your changes behind the scenes, and then you can put it on the wall when you're ready. It does come with the OSD as well, so you can have scrolling text. This text, of course, could be customized, and it does support RTSP streams. So this can have decode quite a few IP cameras. Of course, it all depends on the size of your system. But each box, I believe, can support up to, I think, 16. So quite a hefty amount. And of course, you can have as many of these as you want in a system. Next, we'll have the KVM matrix. So the KVM matrix is kind of exactly what it says. It's KVM and a matrix. So each station can have 2x4 screens dedicated to it. That's of course per station. So of course, for the example in the bottom right, we just have a 1x2. It's just 2 screens side by side. But of course, if you have 3 or 4, you can do that as well. When it comes to what it supports, it is on Windows, Mac, and Linux. So all the major ones, you don't really have to worry about that kind of compatibility there. When it comes to the drag and drop inputs, what that means is you can drag and drop from the KVM station. If you can kind of see in the bottom right, there's signals at the top of that left screen. You can just click those and drag them down, and as you can see, they'll kind of appear on screen. So you can just drag these and drop onto the matrix tab itself. And of course, you can, if this is a KVM system, you can just tab on into that and start controlling it. The push and pull signals between stations and the video wall, what that means is if you have a video wall along with the KVM setup, this would be more for, of course, like a control environment. If you have this kind of setup, you'll have your video wall, which you can push the signals onto, show them on the video wall itself. But say if someone next to you or someone in a different room has access to a specific signal that you don't, or they just want to share some content with you so you can go through it, they can push the content to your KVM station individually, and you can, of course, accept the request or deny the request or push something to them. It just kind of allows you guys to talk more to each other and just push content wherever it needs to be and get it done. Of course, the mouse and keyboard moves between the monitors. So if you have 2 monitors set up, of course, you can have a dual monitor setup, and it just moves seamlessly between both. There's no really issues there. It does have preview on the input signals on the video wall. So same as before, you'll have a preview signal on your encoder side and on your decoder side. So you'll be able to see exactly what content you'll be pushing onto the video wall, onto the matrix, or to another station. You don't have to worry about renaming them, but of course you can as well. When it comes to communication between the stations, what that means is exactly what I just said. You'll be able to push content between each other, increasing communication, talking, and of course you can push content to different people even if they don't have access to it. So say you had access to camera 1 to 6, but someone didn't have access to those cameras, but you need them to see that, you can push that content to them so they can quickly see it, or push it onto the video wall, of course, so everybody can see it and you can review something. There are hotkeys for signal switching. So this is just simple hotkey access, so you can switch between your signals and change, say, from RTSP streaming to your local HDMIs. It's all up to you. You can of course customize the UI as well. We'll get to that later. So when it says marker volume adjustment, that means you can check the volume of each one. You can change the volume, and that all depends on how you configure it later on. If you want it to be just controlled by third party, or if you want it to be like a simple volume slider. Multi-user level, so this gives you full access to give people access to everything. So you can have an admin which has access to every single thing, or you can have some low-level users which say only have access to a specific KVM or a specific camera or a specific signal, but you can lock them out of the video wall, and you can lock them out of the matrix, or you can lock them out of all the RTSP streams. It's all up to you. gives you full control over who does what, and of course you'll see that later on as well. When it comes to the system control, so this is just kind of like your basic system control. You can see your first look at the unit on the bottom. There are two different ones. You have on the left the 4K RTF, which of course is 4K, and the F stands for fiber. And the one on the right is the HDRT. These are our SolarOne Net systems. And you can see all the ports there, and the similarities between the device, and of course there are differences. When it comes to the third-party control, this is kind of this whole area. So you'll be able to control things through RS-232, RS-485, TCP/IP, infrared, and I/O. And of course, you can control this unit as well, all through that from other things, or you can control other things with this device. It's kind of all up to you. So just kind of keep that in mind. Pretty much cameras, say media players through the II, you can send them through shutters, stuff like that. You can kind of control anything as long as it takes these commands. This is able to push it out to that device. When it comes to the hardware itself, so I'll take you over the endpoints, which is the SolarOne Net devices themselves, and of course I'll take you over our layer 2 IP switcher. This is just kind of like to show you a basic requirement of what you need in an IP switcher to get these devices working smoothly. When it comes to the endpoints, so we have the SolarOne Net 4K RTF, which is 1 4K or 4 1080p or 16 substreams. That's when it comes to the streaming, and of course the HDMI in as well as 4K. When it comes to the SolarOne Net HDRT, it's just kind of like a little bit basic version with 1 1080p or 4 substreams. That's for the HDMI, of course. Each one comes with 1 HDMI in and 1 HDMI out. So say if you had 4 inputs through HDMI, you'll need 4 devices. And then say if you have 9 screens, you're outputting to a mix of video or matrix or KVM, then you'll need 9 more devices on the output side. But these are transceivers, so very easy to switch them from receiver to transmitter. It's just a simple flick of a switch at the bottom, on the back, sorry. You can kind of see that on the unit next to the Phoenix connectors and the HDMI output. This does support audio, so this audio can of course come in through the Phoenix connectors. You can kind of see that hopefully, and of course it does as the HDMI audio as well. Has a limited input and output expansion, so this is basically if you have a ginormous 20 by 20 video wall, that's fine. Just get all the devices that you'll need for that, and you'll be able to set that all up completely fine. It is a fanless design as well, so this is just for silent operation, so you don't really have to worry about it being loud. You can have a whole bunch of these in a server rack and you won't have to worry about any noise, or you could have these on your desk locally and they're not going to bother you at all. When it comes to the switches, so on the right you'll see our switches. If you want to read those while I just go through some things. Of course, it needs multicast. This is to, of course, make sure everything runs smoothly. IGMP, which is a big thing. You very much need a managed switch and a managed, a management protocol. If you don't, then you'll have some issues with stability, and of course you don't want that. PoE, of course, it's optional, but all of these are PoE. It'll just save you on cables. That's the main thing, is you don't want to have 20 units with 20 power supplies instead of just 20 units coming all off the switch. Cat6 or higher, mainly because these devices are 1 gig. So you do want to make sure that they're running smoothly, and you don't want to bottleneck the devices themselves, especially when you go to the larger applications. You want to make sure everything's going to run nicely. When it comes to the software side, we have 2 different ones. We have the designer. So this allows you to fully customize the software itself to your liking. This is where you'll edit all your video walls, you'll get all your devices into the system, and you'll be able to actually like customize your own UI and of course program everything the way you want, depending on how you need the system to be. This is quite like I would say a complicated thing to learn, but once you learn it, it is quite simple. It's just a matter of just getting it down, but each tab is very kind of like user-friendly. It's just a matter of remembering where everything is. When it comes to the client itself, this is accessible from anywhere and any device. As you can see, Windows, iOS, or Android. This is once you've finished the designer, you'll then upload it into the client with a unique code, and this will be on the device pretty much forever. and you'll be able to access this. So whatever you make in the designer, you'll be able to customize, upload this, and then your system is done. There's not much else to do from there. What I'll do now is I'll kind of pass it on over to my colleague who's just gonna run you through all of this in a much more kind of in-depth way. He'll take you over the training section and then you'll see the unit in action. So I'll pass this on over to Kai.
Okay, thank you, Liam, for the talk. So from here at this stage, I will start to carry on and give you a quick training of our net system. Let me share my screen first. Because afterwards we will have a live training, so I will go really fast through this training session. So just have a have a think of like what sort of it the system could do. So basically here we will have a 2x2 video wall. We'll have one 1x2 station and one 1x1 KVM station. Just a second. Oh, yeah. So basically, SolarNet got, as Leon just mentioned, it got a designer software and it's also got a Climate software. So designer software is basically used for design the interface that will be used in the Climate software. So here we first log in, of course. Then we will have sort of interface. So as you can see on the top, we have different sorts of elements. For example, you can add some buttons, you can put some text, you can have some like signal group. You can also have like video on the screen. So basically all these things you can customize this by yourself. You can also change the background of this, change the size of them, put some text on top. So it's all free of your choice. So you can just change the whole layout by yourself. Then, for example, you can have a simplest one. You have like this kind of panel. You can have like three by three video wall panel. On the bottom, you have some preview. And when you open this, upload this design and open with the client, it will be exactly the same thing that will show on your control software. On here, you have some sort of like banding. So on the right side, all the units that connect with your system will be showed up. All the SOLNet 4K RDF or HDRT, they will be showing up. So you can just basically click on them. And if after you click on the corresponding screen, which is connected to this unit, will light up. So there will be a blue image on the screen, in which case you don't have to like connect them in order. So basically you just click on this one and you see, for example, the top left screen on, and you just click here, then you band it, and then you click the second one, for example, the right button screen light up, then you just click this one. So in this case, it's easier for you if you have a lot of devices and you want to like connect them in order. Oops, sorry. Yeah. And then we also have the KVM station. On the top, we have got some like preset KVM. And same as just now, when you set up the video, when you click on them, you can simply buy them, and it's easy. It's quite easy, straightforward. You can also have some imports. So on the right side, all the imports that are connected to our SolarNet transceivers, they will be showing green, so it's easier for you to add them. Sorry, excuse me. You can also add your own IP stream. So basically, you can add the mainstream, substream, and also the IP address on the top. So in which case, you could add your own units. And you can on the left side, you can also see you can add like different groups. So which I will show later. It's more clear. G265 also SolarNet also supports like different user management. So you can excluding admin, you can also add different user, for example, user A, user B. You can also give them different authorization for different functions. For example, like admin can access everything, of course. Then user it can only access, for example, certain groups of signals and also certain video walls. So if you don't want him to access everything, so this is all can be done by SolarNet. Oh, sorry. And then we have the SoloNet client. So you just enter some information, and then you will be able to log in. So here is just a really simple example of the SoloNet client interface. So here we have a 3x3 video, and on the bottom we have some preview and some signals. So you in this client you are able to do layout, save, and recall. You can also change the background grid. For example, now it's a 3x3 grid. You can also change it to like 2x2 or whatever what sort of grid if you need. It's more like kind of preset. You can also change the layout offline and publish afterwards. Also, of course, you can add screen text on top. By double-clicking the preview, you can either crop or add OSD or do some pen onto the signal if you want. So you can see. Move on to the KVM. So basically on the bottom, we have a Wi-Fi 2 KVM station. So on the left side, we have open PC window. On the right side, we have open another PC. So basically what you can do is easy word. You can drag and drop the signal from the preview list on the top and onto the screen. And then you can move and switch between the different monitors to control each PC. We also support some sort of like OSD function, which you can draw on the screen to share the information. And also you can adjust the audio with the scrolling bar of your mouse if you would like. On the KVM, you can also use this KVM to control the video wall. So basically, as I mentioned, press Alt 3 times, so you are accessing the video wall management. So similar to the client, you can basically change the content on the screen. I think it will be clear if I show you later. So in the demo, so I'll move on. Also, between two different KVM stations, for example, if I say on the left, it's user A, user 1 logging to station 1. On the right is user 2 logging to station 2. They can drag and drop signals between each other. So if, for example, if the user 2 doesn't have the permission to see a certain signal, and it's emergency, and user 1 want to share it to him, he can always do it, and he will be able to see the signal. So here I will just finish the bit dry talking of the system and do some live demo and give you a better idea how our system looks like. So give me a moment. Let me terminate my share for now. Okay. So as you can see on the where's my client? As you can see on my video, we already got a try to video wall. And then now I will share my screen of the software. Yeah, you can see it. So here we have got our design software. So this is our preset layout. So if you purchase our SoloNet 4K RTF or either 4K HDRT, you will get a management system like this. So basically we have presets are like 2x2 video with some signals preview on the bottom. We also got some other like control buttons on the left. Of course, if you would like to change it by yourself, it's always free of choice. You can like change it by yourself if you follow the menu, and there is we have like step-by-step things to explain every element on here. In the panel, as I just mentioned, we have a 2x2 video. All the signal on the right side are lighted up if they are connected with our transceiver. You can also always change the number of columns and rows here. For example, if I change the 3x4, so you can always change it to some other sort of layout. You can also have some preset. For example, here we have change it back to 2x2. 2x2. Here you can have some layouts. For example, if we say we have a 2x2 multi-view, you just simple 2 times 2 times 2, you can have a 2x2 multi-view. If you would like 3x3, you simply type 3x3. So what it does is, for example, now we have a 2x2 video. If you choose this one, the system, when you access the system, it will automatically create some grids. So in which case you can, if you put the signal on, it will automatically fill the gap. Of course, you can also change the size of this gap. For example, if I close this one, and change this one start from 0. Oops. So it will be 2560. So it will be a single one. So you can always manage this by yourself, but like to make signal like side by side. Of course, we also have a frame mode, which you can change the size of each signal. Here we have KVM. So now we have a 1x2 KVM and a 1x1 KVM. For the KVM station, you can always upload a background if you want for standby. So here we have got our SIDA instruction background. In the input side, on the right side, now we have all the signal that connected to our G2 SolarNet endpoint devices, which are showing green. We also have an extra camera, which we added by ourselves, which is our SIDA IP camera. In the user, now we have two different users. One is admin, and another is user. So basically, you can all these functions, you can take what this user will be able to do. For example, this user won't be able to record save layout, or he can't change the things free. So it's all free of your choice. You can add more user if you want. On the other side, we also have different pages. For example, we have the IP control. So this is our like designed IP camera control. So in which case you can basically move and record preset layouts or move the camera. So what you need to do is just simply change the IP address of each button. So it will, if you have your own IP camera, or if you have more IP camera. Here we also have an audio control, which you can move this bar so to change the corresponding audio from the output. And we also provide some like simple buttons if you want to customize for some of your own use. For example, you want to control your own unit, or you want to control some other devices. So it's all free of choice. After you have designed it, of course, you can save the whole design on your desk, on your drive. You can also download the design from your units if you accidentally lost something. And you can, of course, upload all the design. After you have uploaded all the design unit, you will be able to access the G265 SolarNet client to do the things management. So give me a second. Let me share my screen in a second. Yep. So hopefully you will be able to see it. So now on the screen, you can see the SolarNet management system, which is the SolarNet client. So now we have a Stripe2 video, as you can see on my video. On the screen, it's corresponding. So if I clear everything, so simply you can drag and drop the signal onto the screen. Of course, yeah. So it's a 2x2. Of course, you can change the mode instead of 2x2 to like free mode. So in which case you can just simply open the window on the screen, and you can make it bigger. You can put another signal on top of it, or you can put more if you want. So basically, it's that simple. So simple drag and drop. If you have more than one signal, for example, now I can save it as, for example, say layout 1. And if I clear this and change it back to default, I can have another to say layout 2. Then if you take both of them and set up a loop, so if I say 3 seconds, so these two signals will change every 3 seconds. So I'll just simply stop loop now. So it won't. Also, we have preset, of course, I just mentioned. So you can just simply change the things, but as you can see, it won't reflect real time on the screen. And then if you click publish, it will reflect. Now, G265 also support OSD. So for example, if I say welcome, and if I change the font to really big, so you can see it clearly and moving right, transparent. So I say show, apply. So on the screen, you will see a small welcome. It will not move it to like save your PC's power. But on the actual video, you will see a welcome is moving from left to right. Hopefully it's clear enough for you to see. At the same time, G265 also support to change the background picture. So now it's black screen. So if you double click on it, Do we have some picture? I think we have some picture. So if we put this picture onto the screen, as you can see, it will show on the back on the video. Right, so you can always like have a welcome homepage for this when it's standby. Of course, if you open Signal, it will just cover it. By double click each signal, there are some extra functions. For example, first of all, you can crop it. For example, you can, if I type 500 and say apply, it will just crop the signal into like a small area. I mean, copy the signal, and you can always, of course, restore it. You can also add the OSD. This will be particularly useful if you are using our system, like for example, like decoding cameras. If you have a lot of cameras, so um, if you don't use the maybe OS function on the camera itself, you can always use our SolarNet management OSD to put this OSD on the signal. In which case, when you open another signal, the OSD will always be there. So this OSD will be banded to the input itself. Let me close this first for now. Of course, we also have a drawing function. So basically, you can draw something onto the screen, like if I say something like thank you. So you can always draw this kind of things on screen, and same as just now, it's banded to the input. So you can always use this function. Another function is that if this unit is connected to the input via KVM, you can reverse control in the client. So here we have got input which connect to a PC, and this PC is connected to the encoder via the HDMI and USB. So what you can do here, you can use this client to control the PC directly. So in which case you don't need I'll say it saves a lot of effort if you want to like play some other content. If you want to, you don't need to like an extra screen to display the signal, or you don't need to connect a mouse or keyboard to it. You can always just do the things much easier. You may notice the resolution is a bit low because it's to save the power of the PC. On the actual video, the resolution will be low, just to mention it. It's blocking a bit, so let me close it. On here, we also have as I just mentioned, we have the IP camera control. So if I change it to full screen and open IP camera signal, just a second. Change to full open IP camera signal. It's a bit slow, yeah. So it's fine. It's fine now. So we have an IP camera signal on the bottom left. So if I change my IP camera, let me confirm it. Fine. So yeah. So now it's zooming onto our the video has been zooming onto our IP camera. So if I move it, yep, as you can see, the camera itself is like being moved. So you can always like doing this sort of things. If I move back to the video, of course you can also like turn on the black-white balance, or like return to home, or like change the exposure. So all these buttons are customizable. You can change them by yourself if you would like any of this. We also have the audio control. Unfortunately, our video doesn't support audio, so I won't be able to show you. But basically, what it could do is that you can adjust the audio from either the input or the output. We also have some extra buttons, which is about the control button. If you think you don't want to like always record layout using this panel, you can also set up this button to like record layouts if you would like. It's always possible. So that's all for the SolarNet management system, the client and designer, the introduction of them. Next, I'll move on to the KVM of the SolarNet. Just give me a second. But for now, most of things will happen on the video, so I will terminate my screen sharing. So here we have got two monitors, and on the side we also have another one, which is another station. So basically, we have a 1x2 station KVM station and a 1x1 station. So I will first show you what we can do on a single station first. Maybe yeah. let me log out first. So this is kind of like standby page of our KVM system. As you can see in the middle of these two screens, we have the G265 units there, and they are connected to these two screens, and one set of keyboard and mouse. Basically, as an easy word, so here we have got two signals open on the screen. Mouse is slightly more from my side, so hopefully I could, yeah. So basically, all you can do is simply drag and drop signal on screen, and you can switch them. So here we have switch signal on screen, and you can also drop to another screen if they are on the same station. If I put the signal to that side, then by pressing exit, you can enter the KVM controller. So you can you may notice there is a like green grid on the frame of the screen monitor. So this is to indicate which screen or which PC you are controlling. So basically, the signal. So you can just think of like here we have the LCD, so you can type in whatever content you want. You can also video. So basically, you are controlling the PC. On the right side, you just move and switch to the other side. So you don't make anything to switch between the screen. Just move the mouse to the edge of the screen and drop to the second screen. So it's quite okay, easy to move between the screen. Of course, you can also type content. You can also play video if you want. So this is kind of KVM. On the left bottom side, change to the left one so it's closer so I can see it. So on the left bottom side, there is a pen button. So what it does, that basically you can draw on the screen. So you can, it's kind of OSD. So then I will talk about what this can be used for afterwards. So either. So basically, you don't need to like keep changing the PC. You can play simple music. Next, I will move on to the video wall. So here, in the KVM metrics, you can also control the video wall. So next preset of camera, yeah. So you can see we have two video wall, the bottom of the video on the screen. So simply you can just put the signal onto a screen, and it will also if you clear everything. You can also, of course, free create a video wall, so you can just drag and drop the signal onto the screen, and put another one on top, and put another one. So it's always like so basically it's similar to the management system. So you can configure the how to say the video wall in this function. You can also have some simple like layout save and record. So you can but here, please notice that here we don't have the loop layout function, so you can only save and record layout. So if I move it to somewhere else, so if I record it, yeah, so it will only have the yeah. Another thing that would be interesting is that you can also drag the signal from the video wall to your local screen. So for example, here, we have got this signal, and I would like it to display on the monitor on the right. So what you can do, you can just simply drag and drop it onto the screen on the right. So it will display on the screen on the right. I can also drag and drop this one as well. So it will play it there. So in which case, it will be useful if you have like more than a single user. If another user, so for example, if I move to this position, this one. Yeah, next position. So we have a second user who is also like doing something, but if for example, he has some signal, I'll say, you have some signal that it really concerned and want to share with other people. So first of all, you put it onto the put onto video, right? So if because their user cannot change the, so if I put this signal onto the screen, on the screen, so now everybody could be able to see the signal. But this person was saying, oh, this signal, I got something concerned, but I couldn't see clearly. So he can always drag and drop onto his local screen and have more details to have a look. So if you have a like big like I'll say office or big like conference room, this can always be a good choice that to be used. Also, G265 net systems will have communication function. So in which case you can, for example, if you are on an IP camera system, if you notice something really suspicious and you want another one, not like colleague to confirm with you, you can always send it to the other colleague, and then the other colleague will receive a notification on their screen. And then the purpose of this is to like add the communication of like different users. Another thing I would like to show for this system is, for example, if we have two operators, the first operator opens signal, a second operator opens the exactly same signal as the first operator, so it's both BTS, okay? So in this case, both operators will be able to manage the system at the same time. So for example, if I say, so these are two different stations, okay? So they are like playing two different, I mean, the same source, but they can operate at the same time. So if I say, if here we also type, so you may not notice, but I'm typing on like two different keyboards. So these two users are like can edit everything together, so everything will be shown in real time as well. So yeah, that's pretty much I would like to show you for our SoloNet system, including the video wall and the KVM system. I will pass it back to Liam to for the rest of the talk. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Kai, for that. So just kind of follow along on that. We do have training videos on everything that was shown. You can see the link at the bottom. These training videos will, of course, be comprised of 7 parts. One will be for the video wall, one will be for the KVM and the video wall, one will be just for the KVM, and then you have the video wall with the RTSP, third-party control, controlling third-party, and of course the audio settings. Of course, this is all available on YouTube. You can see the link down below there. So what I'll do now is I'll kind of leave the webinar running for a good 5-10 minutes. And if anybody has any questions that they would like to ask or anything they would like to get clarified, you can of course ask. And once all the questions are clearing up, we can close it up. So thank you very much, and feel free to ask any questions if you have any.